and welcome to the FEI channels. I'm Meg Elphick, and in this series, in partnership with Agria, I have the pleasure of going around some top yards and seeing behind the scenes of their day-to-day lives and their commitment of care to their lovely horses. Now today is one I have been rather excited about because we are visiting an eventer. Her eventing CV is pretty immaculate. She's won badminton, Burghley, Europeans, and not that long ago she's actually come back from Paris with this chap here with a gold medal. So, shall we head in and see who I'm talking about? Good morning.
Hello, great to see you.
You too. Thank you very much for having us.
No problem at all.
Very excited. So we're going to be taking a little peek behind the scenes of your day-to-day yard life today.
Yep.
I hear you're literally just back from polo.
Yeah, we got back late last night, took quite a while to get home. So yeah, maybe slightly different day to normal today, particularly seeing as it's kind of the first week of winter. So no events to prepare for, which is quite nice really. So yeah.
So we're seeing a little bit sort of a different side of your eventing life now, I guess, your off season.
Yes.
So how does that sort of differ for the horses?
Some of them go out and have a holiday. When I say go out in the field and have a holiday, our horses are very lucky because they live out in the field all summer anyway. So, but they just get a break from being ridden. Others stay in work, have a few things to kind of work on over the winter. Or they might have had, you know, not quite as much as a full season as the others. So it's a great time to kind of do a bit more self-analysis, try and work out what was good and what we could make better for next year, and yeah, put some maybe new movements into some of the younger horses, and enjoy a bit more relaxed time as well.
Yeah. So who have we got here? Who's this chap?
So this is Wilbur. He's called Graffito is his proper name, and he is half brother to Walter, to Lordship's Graffalo. So that's quite exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, pretty cool chap, very laid back. Takes everything in his stride. He's had a really good year, started out not until May we started him at 100, but he's done 4 or 5 novices very competitively. Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna, he will have a bit of a break, but he's just going to have a bit more to learn this year. Yeah. We hope he'll be quite a competitive 7-year-old, so he's going to put a bit of lateral work in and start his half passes and things like that. And then,
it's a busy winter, darling, got lots of learning to do.
Yeah.
He says, oh no. Okie dokie, so are you, I'm guessing, about to head off on a ride, hence being all tacked up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to go hacking. I'm going to go with Georgie, who helps me ride the horses. She's going to ride a horse that's just coming back from having a bit of a breakthrough and injury. So he's kind of on his rehab hacking, and Wilbur's going to keep him company. Perfect,
brill. Okay, well we'll let you guys crack on and maybe come and follow you a little bit.
Super.
So Ros, we've just taken a little perch in your lovely, massive arena. This is great, isn't it?
Yeah, we're really lucky, yeah. So we originally had like a 20 by 40. Then we were lucky, we got some funding to do a 40 by 60. And then one day I thought, we had this little paddock in the middle, and I thought,
no, don't need that.
Let's join it all together. But it's really for, you know, for my future as well, for the teaching side of it and stuff. It allows me to coach and means that we can keep up with some of the cross-country training all year round as well.
Yeah, no, this is brilliant. So we've just seen you hack out on lovely Wilbur. I was interested to learn a little bit more about your sort of fitness routine. Obviously we're at the end of the season now, but if we take Walter, for example, who's chilling in the field on holiday, how do you go about getting him fit? When does that all start to sort of say get ready for badminton in May?
So he'll probably stay out on holiday until the start of December. By which point he'll have been off since Burghley, so he'll have had quite a decent break.
Wow, yeah.
And then he will basically hack all of December. We won't start him right at the beginning with hours of walking. We don't tend to do that here. But we'll just build up the hacks from just going out and having, we've got an old disused railway line that's flat and the ground's always good. We'll go out and walk and do a little bit of trot round there to start with, and then start putting a hill in and then gradually build it up. And and then he'll probably start doing a little bit of flat work in January.
Okay.
And then have a jump towards the end of January. So
that's a long time, isn't it? No jumping.
Yeah.
So from Burley to January, he'll have
He
not left the
probably
floor,
won't
really.
jump, no, but just because he doesn't really need to,
Yeah.
he knows his job, and we'll try and save him a bit, really. And then, the closer we get to badminton, we then start to, when we know he's definitely going to be his aim, say, for example, let's say we're definitely going to go to badminton, we'll then start working back. So ideally, they need to do kind of 6 to 8 weeks of the gallop type fitness work before going to something like that.
Okay.
But because badminton comes so early, you think of Burley, it comes off the back of badminton, so they've got that baseline fitness already. For badminton, they don't have that, and equally we can get caught out with the weather at that time of year. So I'll actually try and start my canter work a bit earlier.
Okay.
For an event like badminton, to allow for any little thing going wrong with the horse, but also something going wrong with the weather. It's not unusual to get snow in February, and that would then, make everything 2 weeks late already. Try and get to the point where they are doing their maximum gallops, and for ours, we go onto a grass field that we've got from a farmer, and they go up to, I like them to go at least twice, doing 6 times up.
Okay.
The bit where we go. And I'd try and achieve that again a couple of weeks before we go to badminton to give us a bit of a buffer.
Okay.
Anything going a little bit wrong. I think more and more tapering is good. We'll try and achieve our 2 lots of 6, kind of 2 to 3 weeks before. That will allow me to go, well, actually, I'd love to get 1 more in, or I'm going to go and do another gallop, but the horse is getting a bit keen and strong, so I'm going to go and do schooling and canter at the same time, and less just going for a gallop. So if we can get it in early enough, we can then pick and choose what we do in the last 2 weeks to enable us to actually peak in their performance.
And their last gallop is, because I've always been taught 5 days before is when you do a last gallop. Is that right, or is that, do you?
Yeah,
sort of
I'm
tailor it to the horse?
probably a bit more laid back as to what we're doing, and the type of horse as well. I think Walter is a natural galloper, so and also with us, because we only go on grass, it's very ground dependent as well.
Yeah, of course.
So interestingly, between Paris and Burley, Walter didn't gallop.
Really?
Which was, I don't know, how was it, 6 or 7 weeks?
Wow.
So obviously he was very fit for
But he
Paris.
kept the fitness up, yeah.
But then the ground was pretty hard. And so we went on the hills, we went to where the gallops are, but we trotted up the steep bits, steady slow canters, but I wouldn't say I ever unleashed him on the gallops between the two. Never really had a big blowout with him, but I was confident that with all the work he's done in previous years, how fit he was for Paris, Paris would have been a fitting run for him.
Yeah, of course.
That for him, with the genetics that he's got and ease that he has in his gallop, that would have been enough for Burley. But you might get another horse like Isolot DHI, who is less thoroughbred blood, wouldn't enjoy the galloping, quite so much, wouldn't find it so bodily easily, that I definitely would have a gallop closer to the competition, because it's good to get him in that positive mindset. But equally with a horse like Isolot, who would find 6 times up the gallop, he'd start to feel that was hard work. I don't want him to go into his big competition feeling
A bit fatigued.
and just a bit mentally demoralised.
Ah,
So
okay.
like his last gallop would always be a short one, and
Get him
I'll
hyped.
always put him next to another horse, and Isaac will always beat the horse the last time up. We'll hold the other one back, so
Really?
Isaac wins, give him a big pat, say, aren't you fantastic? So he goes into his big competition thinking that he actually really enjoys that side of it.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. I've never thought of like the horse's psychology and their ego going into
we
it.
do quite a lot of that.
That is so clever.
Yeah, just making sure that we know each horse's personality, and I know what it's like to go for a run, and to be a bit like Isaac, to go actually, Isaac's body works so well in the dressage, his mechanics mean he can dance and be elastic, but that that constant galloping is a harder thing for him to really want to do mentally. Like, he loves to jump, but hit 8 minutes and he starts to go, oh, do you know what, I wish I could sit on the couch and watch a film right now, and I know what that feels
I relate to
like.
him, yeah.
But also, you know, if you go for a run, you get the right music on and you have your right friend there
Get really
motivating
pumped.
you, how much better you feel about it. So we try and take that into the horses as well.
So are there any horses that it would actually do them a favour to perhaps not win, and they come out a bit like having to prove themselves, or the majority of them?
Yeah, so like, you know, Walter could be like that, and MHC S17, who's just done his first 5-star at Poe, like he's really giddy on the gallops. He would just give his all every time up. So yeah, if he got, you know, it wouldn't matter so much to him where he finished, because I know come out on the cross country and he really enjoys that side of it anyway. But it's like with everything with horses, they each have their own individual personality, and it's my job as a rider to get inside their heads, not just to be good at riding, but to be a bit of a psychologist and to go, how can I get this horse to peak at this time and feel like they really want to win too.
That is so interesting. That's actually genuinely never crossed my mind. I feel like I'm getting such good nuggets of information. One last thing, can I get a little bit of platting advice if we head into the barn now?
Absolutely,
Is that
yeah.
right?
I think I've been left to it today now, so you'll have to get it from me.
It's going to
now.
be
A bit
you.
out
I
of
mean, I'll take
practice,
that.
but we'll give it a go.
That's not bad. All right, let's head in. So we're back with lovely Wilbur now, and I've asked Ros for a few platting tips. It's something we've done across the series. So we've had our big dressage puffy plats.
Yeah.
We've had our straight show jumping mane. What do we do for eventing?
So for eventing, so it varies a little bit, and I can tell you now I'm no expert. I'm not normally the one that stood up here. I used to be a lot when I didn't have so many horses and a family life and everything else, but I don't plat so much any often. I leave that to the other guys. But for one day, we just plat with bands.
Okay.
Pretty much always end up platting the day before, just because we'll generally have very early starts. You know, we'll be getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Sometimes we plat the night before, put the turnout rugs back on, and they go back out if we're leaving at a time where we've got the time to go down to the fields and get them.
Is that fully rolling up, or do you plat down then roll up in the morning?
No, we fully roll up, pop the New Zealands back on.
Mostly
and
in
put them out.
when you get them in the morning?
Really good, the horses are really good like that. If we're leaving kind of with 5 or 6 horses at 2 in the morning, they stay in the night before, so they'll get ridden probably kind of late morning, then get bathed, platted stud holes, etc. Then they'll stay in, and then we'll just take them from the stables in the morning. So we plat down basically with bands, don't plat the forelock, leave that out, and then we just put the ears on them for the competition, so they don't have to have their forelock platted at all.
Perfect.
And then for a 3-day, they're platted with thread. So Travis and Sarah are great platters, so a little bit more time and effort put in, look a bit smarter, look better for longer. And then it just depends a little bit on the conformation of the horse as to how many plats we do. So most of them, we do quite a lot of small plats.
So is that meant to make the neck look longer?
Yeah, so it's all for the image for the dressage. So we just tend to bunch, couldn't even tell you how many we normally do, probably 15 to 18 I would think. So enough.
That's a lot.
And then I think we all have slightly different techniques. Often they've still got slightly damp mane because they'll have had a bath, so then you plat, which is quite nice. Still a little bit damp because it's just easier to get the plats a little bit tighter.
So you don't actually use that much product or anything
So
on
then
them?
we don't really need to use product.
So when you're doing lots of little plats, do you play by the rules of having the odd number up the neck, and then in theory the forelock would be even, or do you not really mind? Just whatever?
I don't really mind. I don't
Too
really
many
mind.
for the judges to count?
Too many for judges to count. I don't think they really do count, and I try not to be superstitious as well. Like, I could be the type of person that would get a bit like, oh well, this happened, so this happened last time, so I've got to make sure it happens next time. And I could get a person that gets led down that trap, and I just don't allow it to happen, because otherwise, you know, there's so many things that can go right and wrong with horses anyway. Being superstitious, I think, is just a step too far for me and my team. So I don't think anyone would handle me if I had any more funny little habits. So I try not to be superstitious about stuff. And just let people get on with their jobs. You know, Travis and Sarah are so good at what they do that I try not to get too involved. At the bottom of the flat, I try and tuck the little bit under that I can't plat.
Yeah, okay.
Just so it's not in the way. And then I generally put the bottom bit right up to the top and then fold it again into the neck. And then sometimes I find these bits go a bit loose, but then I can just pin them in.
Yeah. So a folder, not a roller.
I'm a folder, yeah.
Do you find quite a lot of them actually enjoy the platting?
Most of ours, we're really lucky. Most of our horses are very relaxed.
Yeah.
I think because they live that outdoor life all the time, they are pretty good. The odd one is more,
Fidgety.
finds it less easy to stand still than others. Wilbur's very chilled. He's a very laid back horse on the whole. So, seeing as the season's finished, that's it for the year. So we'll take these plats out, enjoy the fact we don't have to put any more in for a while, and yep. Wilbur can go and have a rest in the field again.
He's actually yawning on cue, bless him.
It's hard life.
Boy.
It's hard life being a model.
So do you always get turnout all year round then?
Yes, we're really lucky here. So it's like our family farm. Mum grew up riding ponies and things, but not being particularly competitive. But it's always been the thing that she's completely passionate about, is that horses must lead as natural a life as possible. So we don't have a horse walker. She's been adamant we're never to have one because she didn't want us to be able to have an excuse not to turn horses out. So yeah, they go out every day in the winter.
Wow.
Normally about 2 weeks before badminton, they then head out full time.
Really?
And then that's it. They're out at grass until, we're hoping we'll get another 2 weeks now. So what, we're starting November now, hopefully mid-November, then they'll start coming in, but they'll stay out all day until they run out of food, really.
Yeah.
So
Gosh,
we're really
that's
lucky,
amazing.
but it's quite a managed programme. The fields are poo picked every day.
Wow.
Mum's really on it with stuff like that.
You look immaculate.
The grass is fed.
Yeah.
The fields are harrowed and rolled. So it would seem like it's an easier life for us because you don't have to muck out every day, but actually there's quite a lot of work involved in making sure the fields stay good enough for the horses to be out as much as they are.
That's amazing. I can't believe they live out when they're off going to like 5 stars and everything.
Yeah, so literally, get ready for, like Walter getting ready for Burley or even Paris. He was out 24 hours a day until he went on the lorry to the Olympics.
And then how do you cope when you get to the show and they're suddenly expected to be in a stable?
They seem to cope absolutely fine. They do come in, obviously. They do sometimes stand in a bit during the day if they're waiting their turn to be ridden, or if they're getting a bit fat or something in the summer, and they come in the night before a competition if we're off very early and we can't go and get them from the field. So, and then in the winter, obviously, they come in at night. So they are used to being in stables, and really doesn't seem to bother them in a negative way.
And just do the sort of hand grazing at the shows and...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I suppose in a way, because we know that when they get out, so we got back from Poe at 7:30 in the dark last night, the horses went straight out in the field. So, actually we know when we're at an event, they do have to stand in the stables, but we know that as soon as they get back, they'll be out. So at least the rest of the time they're having that really natural life. So
important for them, isn't it? And just keeping their heads in check, but also their bodies actually moving around and
I think
being
so.
Horses.
I have been lucky in my career so far with horses not having too many injuries and things like that, and physio-wise, the horses often feel quite good, I think, to the physios. So I think hopefully it's the fact that they're just getting to wander, have their heads down, live that kind of natural life, and do lots of hacking and things. We do all our galloping on grass. We don't use too many surfaces all the time, and hopefully it's how they're designed to be.
Is this our spot?
This is Wilbur's field.
In you go, my love. Enjoy. He's probably like, I thought I was going to a show being platted.
And it's quite nice as well, because we just, we're quite thoughtful as well about who goes out with who. Some of them are in individual paddocks, others are paired off. We've got a paddock with 3 or 4 horses in at a time, and so we just think about who might match who needs what grass, and move them about a bit to make sure that they're always where they ought to be and as happy as we can have them.
It is a lot of work, isn't it? Lots of thought goes into keeping you guys as happy as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of thought going into a field. But yeah, it's quite a managed process, more managed maybe than it appears.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, mate, go and enjoy your field. Is that you nearly done for the day, or have you got more? More horses.
No, I've got this guy to ride. So this is Zenshira. We call him Alfie at home. He's a retired event horse. He's 20 years old and he did, I think he was top 10 in 6 5-stars. He did Lamulin and Poe. He was a real Poe specialist. It's my first 5-star horse. Absolutely adore this horse. He's a wonderful, wonderful character. So he stopped eventing when he was 17. He was just starting to feel his legs a little bit. So I was desperate to have him here in his old age because he's such a great personality. And my real dream was that one day Ziggy will ride him, or at least we'll hack out together.
Yes.
But at the moment he's being too naughty. He's too fresh.
Is he sensible or
no,
is he not?
He's too fresh to go out with the children or the young horses at the moment. He's not well enough behaved. So he's actually going to do a demonstration this year at London International Horse Show with Richard Davidson. He's going to show off his tempi changes and what event horses are capable of in the dressage. So although he doesn't look like it, he is now getting fit again for that. So got a bit of grooming and clipping to do, but I'm going to ride him in a minute and just start getting him ready for December for his big kind of debut at London, which I think he's going to thoroughly enjoy. But he's pretty cool.
Time to shine again.
He's absolutely cool. He's got no front teeth anymore. Look, his tongue always hangs out, so that's quite funny. So he eats lots of powdery food and things like that. But yeah, he's got a heart of gold. This horse. He's definitely glass full kind of guy. Never has a bad day. Always friendly. Always getting on with everybody. So we love him to bits.
Oh, I love that you've still kept him in work as well.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
He's the kind of horse that wants to.
He loves to work. He loves to work, and he's great because he's a real schoolmaster. Like the other guys on the yard can ride him. If anyone's had a bad day or lost a bit of confidence, out comes Alfie, puts a smile back on everyone's faces. He makes people believe. So he's got a real job to do in life still. Yeah. And he's great. Like people can learn their flying changes on him, but if they don't ask right, he won't do it. So he's not such a schoolmaster that.
That's exactly what you need, though, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not push button.
Yeah, he's still got a lot to give, so it's great.
Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, Ros, thank you so much for having us here. We really appreciate you taking the time, especially literally just getting back from home.
No problem.
You must be exhausted, but we'll let you crack on. Ride lovely Alfie. Big thank you to Ros and Agria for sponsoring this series, and do make sure you stay up to date on the FEI channels because there is so much more to come.